Hello, hello, hello. I believe we are live. It's Lillian Reiki here, the parenting strategist from Parent Support Network. And today I'm coming in with Parent Support Network TV, episode number 12. And I have a beautiful friend of mine, Maria how do you say your surname?
Padarakis.
Padarakis. It was easier than I thought.
It is.
and,
it is.
And Maria, I've known for quite a while through different mutual friends, but Maria recently joined my parenting course. Well, what are we up to? Week 6 or 7?
I believe so. Something like that.
Something like that.
I'm just flowing with you, Lillian.
We're really into it. And I've had some conversations with Maria about parenting, of course, but also about what Maria is passionate about. And she's a very, very passionate lady. She's very passionate about her beautiful family. She has a husband and 2 beautiful children, which I'm sure she'll tell us a little bit about. But let me just read out her official
Let's be
up here. Yeah, that's right. So Maria is a future-proofing counsellor. I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bringing together over 25 years experience in psychology with a postgrad in psychology, well done, government, the community sector, politics and policy. Wow, that's quite a variety.
It is. I'm Miss Know-How.
Absolutely. So in 2016, she embarked on her entrepreneurship journey, which is awesome. As a mother of 2 young children, she has carved a career for herself to suit her and her young family, as well as supporting her husband's career. So that is awesome. And I love this, what you say here. So Maria sees the world in a unique way, and I'm high five on that one, me too, and has created a system for future-proofing for life. Walking her talk, Maria has started a second business, Creative Biz Hub, with her sister and business partner. Now, how do you say your sister's name?
Andy Opie, and then Adams is easy.
I know, Andy Opie. I was just going to say Andy.
Well, that's what people call her sometimes, yes, but it's Andy Opie, yeah.
Is that a good Greek name, is it?
It's a rare Greek name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And how awesome is it that you work with your sister?
So, it's the best.
It's really great working with family. I work with all my members of my family, which is awesome. And together as beautiful sisters, they bring together their unique skill stack of marketing and psychology to do marketing in a very different way. So Maria loves supporting individuals and businesses to reimagine their life systems through resilience, purpose, and endless potential. I absolutely love that.
Yeah.
And today, because this is about parenting and families, Maria is going to share one of her real passions, which is about self-care. And how important self-care is, which, as Maria says, is the foundation for living a better life. Caring for yourself helps you be better and more for everyone you love. I love that. Creating a self-care system that is resilience-focused. And she talks about these me-cation things. So I'm looking forward to you sharing a bit about what is a me-cation. So Maria, we're just going to have a chat. So I'm going to open up to you to share how your vision, your passion, what you love. Like if people are listening in today, and people who listen in to Parent Support Network are usually parents, grandparents, educators, people who care about their families. So what can you share with our listeners about self-care and how important that is, particularly for us mums, women, mums, grandmas, people in general, but we kind of tend to focus a little bit more on the women, don't we?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because when you really bolster your self-care system, and I'm calling it a system because it is more than one thing.
Yeah.
Right? And when I talk about future-proofing, it's really about creating a life system that prevents you or supports you to deal with stress and shock in your life. That's what a future-proof system is.
Nice.
And we often do it for, computer systems and bridges and things that are non-human, but we help to make them resilient, but there's no real focus, I think, especially in our world at the moment, and it's a big buzzword, this resilience, but it's more than resilience. Resilience is a big part of it. It's a huge part of it, but we want to future-proof ourselves so we can deal with any challenge that comes up. So once you realize that the real core of that and dealing with shock and stress in your life is you, then you start to change how you live your life. And I have been on a very long journey in my own self-care, and it's not about starting and going from 0 to 1,000 at once. It's all the incremental little things, tiny little things that you do for day to day that support you and help you to take better care of yourself. So you would attest to this and you would understand this, Leanne, and many of those people listening to us today will know that when you're struggling, your family starts to struggle.
Absolutely. And I, as you know, I teach that in what I do. If we as the parents are not building our sense of who we are, we call it inner wealth in the Nurtured Heart approach, our sense, our self-esteem, our self-worth, our self-respect, our self-love. If we're not feeling good about who we are, how can we possibly give what we need to give to our families and to our kids? So, you know, a lot of parents, you know, come to me because my kids are this, my kids are that, but really not looking internally at themselves. And it's like that analogy on the plane, you know, like you've got to give yourself the oxygen mask first before you can help the children. And it really is the same as well, you know, with our parenting and our family work, because if we're in a crap place, if we're not feeling resilient, if we're not feeling good, if we haven't been giving our body that self-care, then how can we instill that in our children? And with children, it's monkey see, monkey do, right? So
absolutely.
Our kids need to see us, yeah.
And that's been part of my journey because my mum was so opposite to that and still is.
Tell us about that. Okay.
Yeah, so very little compassion for self, very little time for, I just realized my phone's not on silent. I'll do that quickly while we're talking. Very little time for self. I don't even think that she was anywhere. She's not on her list. She's still not on her list. Love her to bits, but there is nothing that she does that is a priority for herself. And she's struggled for it. Her body has not done well. Her emotions have not done well. Everything has struggled, right? Yeah. So as much of a beautiful, caring and selfless person, and this is the word about the thing about selflessness, you also have less of yourself. You understand less of yourself. You know less of yourself. You have no understanding of your boundaries, of what's acceptable for you. You just give, give, give. And you get lost in the process. And that's what started happening to me. And this is where the medications came in. When I had my daughter, I had my children a little bit later, but I don't think it matters. When you have your first child, you kind of lose yourself within that parenting role because it's the first time you've done it. You've never done it before, right? And as a counsellor and someone who'd worked with people many times who had lost their sense of self, I could see myself. Well, actually, I didn't even really see it. My husband saw it. Wow. He came home. He was drive in, drive out. He's in the mining game. And he came home one time and he said, you look like you need a break. You're just not yourself. And he goes, how
very
about
receptive of him?
He's very receptive like that. It's why I picked him. But yeah, he said, oh, how about I send you on a holiday? How about we're living in Darwin at the time. How about I send you to Bali?
Nice. Good husband.
And I went, my daughter was 2. I'm like, I'm not going overseas. Yeah. But it wasn't about not taking a break or not going to Bali. It was about taking a break. That's what it was about. And so there's something that I've always done with my clients, and that is I'm going to use my hand, is that, you get a circle, you put you in the middle and you write all your roles around it. And I had lost myself in my roles, and I wasn't concrete here. I was not solid. I was not on solid ground. So me going away was a start of me starting to regain that. And let me make it clear, medications don't fix you. Medications are a way for you to consolidate yourself for the year and create a plan and do it in your own space with your own time, and not sharing your energy or your space with anyone else. It allows you to consolidate and go inward to yourself. So that was the start of me having many more medications. They are fabulous.
So is the medication just with you alone?
Me alone, holding space just for you, no one else.
Oh, wow. I don't think I've ever been on a mecation because I've been away, you know, for business stuff. I have traveled on my own and done stuff, but not like a holiday. I mean, my husband and I have just purchased an off-road camper caravan thing, and we just had our first weekend away last weekend, and we've just booked in one for next weekend. But yeah, I've been on holidays with my husband, with my family, just with my son. Nathan and I actually went to Bali together.
Nice.
And I've been on a holiday just with my dad to Malta. So that was a 4-week holiday away from my family, which was awesome. I've been camping with my youngest son, and obviously the whole family. I don't think I've been on a mecation.
Yeah, and the first one was interesting because it took me about a day and a half to actually release the thoughts around my family.
Yeah.
And really just go to myself. And let me tell you, I was a new mum. I slept. Let's be honest. I slept for the first day. I barely had time to think about them because I was sleeping so much.
Wow.
But it really has taught me to think about what I need in that time. Like the first one, I juiced for 3 days and just had a cleanse. I took my thermos with me, where I went. But other times I've stayed home and they've gone away.
Yeah.
The kids went away for their dad. So part of the other reason, and this goes to dads, and this is what was really important in my decision making for my medication, is I remembered seeing, there was an episode of Oprah I saw a long time ago that I've kept at the back of my mind, which has guided my parenting and how I include and incorporate my husband into our lives, because he does go away a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But even for fathers who are home every single day, now he's here every single day, but eventually he'll be away a lot again.
Yeah.
There was an episode about the role of dads, and they said that fathers often feel like they're excluded from the parenting role, like their input isn't as important, and they don't get to learn to parent and style in their own style, in their own way. They're not almost trusted to do that. And I had always said, no, I will never do that. I will make sure that doesn't happen. So even though one of the first things that went through my head when that first medication was, he'll put her in mixed matched clothes and he won't brush her hair, right? But then I was like, oh well, to the point where he took her to Chile for 3 weeks to see his family. I was pregnant with my son. I stayed home. I had a staycation.
Wow.
Took her to Chile for 3 weeks. And he took a photo of her for her Chilean passport, and the expression on her face looked like she was only about, I don't know, was it? No, she was 3 by then. She was 3. The expression on her face was, my dad hasn't brushed my hair. Let these things go. They are not the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
The memories they have, the bond that they create, they are still so tight, both my children, because they have these times with their dad, just their dad. And because I at the end of the day, I do most of the at-home stuff and the parenting, they need that space.
Absolutely. And I think, Maria, sometimes, like I work with a lot of different parents who are together, or they're parenting separately, or they're single, like just a single parent with no support. Sometimes if parenting clashes between mum and dad or the two parents, then you're almost better off sometimes being either a single parent or parenting afar from each other, because it's really confusing for kids in the home when there are different parenting styles. When mum parents one way, or when one parent parents one way and the other parent parents another way. But what I'm loving about what I'm seeing more and more now, for example, even in my current course, I have quite a few families who are parenting separately, but they've come together for the benefit of the children. Because when I bring on a new client, I always say, do you have a parenting partner? So some of them live with their parenting partner. Some of them say, no, I don't. I parent on my own. And some of them say, yes, my child or children spend some time with me and some with their dads. There's 2 families that just come to mind from this current course where I said, will your partner be be open to doing this with you? And they said, well, let me find out. And they've brought their partners on, which is fantastic. So they're parenting like they're learning the same language so that they can parent similarly. You'll still always have your different parenting styles, but similarly in the both homes, which is fantastic. But look, even with parents who are committed and in great, beautiful, loving, connected relationships, they often still have different parenting styles or ways of communicating and connecting. Yeah.
And everyone comes from, you know, different cultural paradigms around parenting.
Cultural, that's a great point. Yes,
it is. And for me, it's double whammy because we've also got two different cultures in the house. I was raised in a Greek home, and he was raised in a you know, South American Chilean home. He was raised with a mum who worked for some of the time. My mum was always home. Like, there was so many different things that, you know, influence your parenting. Both happen to be first children. That does not indicate how we parent at all, because we come from very different perspectives. However, whilst we don't parent the same, we also have some foundational values that are similar, that support us to parent together. And I think that's really important. And if you haven't got, and this is really goes to your own self-knowledge about yourself as well. You've got to know your value base, because that's part of you. You've got to know your value base, where you come from and why things are important to you, because they guide you whether or not things are aligning with you, whether or not things are you'll start to feel that, you know, that uneasy feeling if your values aren't being met. Your boundaries are being pushed into a value direction that you don't support. And it also, and that's what I love about this program, because I used to deliver parenting programs, but I've never been part of a program before where value and character are so instilled in the way that you parent. And that I love. So you're teaching your children your most important values and the characteristics you want to instill in them while you're parenting them. And so much of what we do is not focused in that direction in a day-to-day basis. So that language becomes normal, and I love that.
That's good. That makes my heart soar and sing, because I think that, you know, even though I'm sure 99.9% of parents parent with all the love, you know, the wanting the best for their children, but, you know, we do inadvertently parent upside down, so many of us, and just learning to tweak the language. So we've just got a couple of minutes left, and I want you to share your last thing in just a moment. But just before we do, I just wanted to share with everybody that we do have another masterclass coming up where we will share a little bit about what you've been learning in the 9-week program. So we, Naturopath Nathan and I are going to be doing the masterclass together. It will be probably, I don't know, between 60 and 90 minutes, and probably closer to the 90 minutes, which is what they normally go for. So it's Tuesday, December the 14th. And I'm going to share our story. We're going to share a little bit about the Nurtured Heart approach. Nathan's going to share some great health and wellness stuff. So if anybody is listening that might think, well, why should I do the masterclass? And, you know, is this going to be valuable for me? What would you say to them? Like, you obviously took the plunge, you know,
I did.
Had that conversation. You probably really didn't know what you were going to be learning, and you just trusted after our conversation. So what little bit of advice would you give somebody watching?
Well, I think that once, you know, it's really important to know that, you know, you're probably listening going, oh, well, you've got a counselling background, you've done parenting, why did you need to do this course? I think with parenting your own children is parenting your own children. And there's always more emotional stuff that can go on that you don't realise. And as you become more self-aware in your self-care, you go, well, there's things I don't want to do anymore, and I want to find a way to change how I do that. And it's about taking responsibility for who you are and how you are in the world, and how the imprint you leave, and how you parent your children for the next generation. It's really important. So I listened to what you had to say in the masterclass, and I was very interested in learning that new way of speaking so that I could speak differently. And I'm already seeing a difference in my children, especially around their self-worth and their self-esteem, which you can't always be in charge of. They go to school, they go to other places. So if you can make that solid at home, wow, that's just amazing. So yeah, so I took the plunge and I don't regret it at all. And I you know, if anyone's watching and they want to find a new way to change, you know, find a new way to approach parenting, and also how you are in general around how you communicate, it's a great way to go.
Thank you, Maria. That's awesome. That's really great to hear. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. And I'm glad your kids are benefiting from it as well. So in closing, boy, this 20 minutes went really fast. In closing, please let everybody know how they can contact you. What value can you bring into their life? And I believe you've got a new Facebook page or group.
Yes. Yes.
So you can share that in the comments below. Please share with everybody how to get in contact with you, and just one key last message that you'd like to leave.
Yeah,
okay.
Sure. So basically you can find me on Facebook under Maria Padarakis Future Proofing Counsellor. I have a new support group called Superpower Your Self-Care. So I'd love you to join that. And as of today, I'm launching my new website too, so you can find out more about my programs there as well. But I guess my parting words are that you are the center of your life system, and caring for yourself is so essential. And we can't hamster wheel our life through our life anymore. We can't live without a clear direction. There's so much going on. So working with me will really help you to build your resilience, really anchor into meaning into your life, and also help you to deal with those shocks and those unexpected stresses in life. But it all comes back down to your self-care system, and really making that strong and solid and resilient.
Oh, I love it. I love the self-care system, and I love the medications. I'm yet to see if I'll do a medication, because I love traveling with my husband. We travel together. But
well, you know, yeah, and I guess you're in a very different stage of life.
I don't have young children now. Yeah,
that's more with small children. Yeah.
But even on our weekend away, Maria, and I know we're meant to be finishing, but even on my weekend away, he was potting around doing stuff. I just sat and read an actual novel, a Nicholas Sparks romance novel, you know, like I normally am reading business or personal development. And I just enjoyed just sitting back on my deck chair with my feet up, got a little bit of sun, and I just enjoyed reading. And you know, usually when I pick up a book to read, it's something that will teach me something, you know, but I just picked it up at the shop as we were leaving. I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to get a novel. So it was a little bit of a medication. I had a lot of.
Well, it's about you guys doing your own interests and then coming together at moments in the trip away, and that's beautiful. That's great.
That's right. So thank you so much, Maria, for sharing with us today. Please make sure you drop all of your information in the comments so that people can get in contact with you, and appreciate your time and your wisdom today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Lillian Reiki, parenting strategist from Parent Support Network, equipping parents to enjoy happy and healthy children and relationships on purpose. Bye for now.